But yeah, a little bit different action than what you'll see in a normal frog. There's one. Good gracious. Welcome back, everybody. So it's been a little while since I've thrown just a true topwater day, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go throw a lure I've never used before. It's the Furenzy Mouse from Lunkerhunt. Lunkerhunt always has some interesting lures, to say the least. Apparently it's got some sort of fur on top that's supposed to help those fish hold on a little bit longer to get a little bit better hookup ratio. So we'll see about that, but I'm excited to go ahead and throw it. We are still doing that giveaway, so make sure to stay till the end to see what we go ahead and drop in the box or potentially give that away. So let's get this tied on and get after it. All right, we're all tied up. The body is kind of interesting. It's almost like a felt. I guess obviously they call it fur, but interesting. We've got the chartreuse one. This gross overcast day is probably not a bad choice for color. We're supposed to have a bunch of rain, so it'll be kind of interesting. We'll probably have to dip around to a couple different ponds, lakes, trying to get out of the storms. So we'll have to see, but we started off with the mini pond just because we know that there are plenty of fish in here. We don't have to worry too much about pike or anything else like that, which almost all of our lakes have that. So anytime I'm using an inexpensive lure or a lure that I only have one of, I always like to start here to at least catch a fish before we lose it. So let's see. She floats well. That's good. It's actually really, it seems really buoyant, like really buoyant. It's a little bit taller than a normal frog. It walks very well. Oh, and we had a fish pop on it already. First cast, so that's good. Fish seem to like it. Yeah, it's really buoyant. It walks well, but it's just so tall. So it might end up with potential issues hooking up with some smaller fish. But I guess the goal would be big fish. So it walks all right. I wouldn't say it's as good as some of the other frogs that we use, but it'll get there. A little bit more difficult than a normal one. But let's start chucking around and see if we can't catch a couple. There she walks pretty well. Got him! Second cast. That was kind of an awful hook set, to be honest, but did what it was supposed to. And it might not look, oh, wow. It's interesting. They turn really well in those hooks. And it might not look like much, but that's actually not a bad fish for this pond. Probably just 14, maybe a pound and a half. So we'll give him a little ride back, but that is not a bad start. And how are we looking? Doesn't look destroyed. Oh, we lost some fur. We lost some fur. But that's not a bad start, and hopefully that's how our day goes. Yeah. Did not take all but one fish to start losing some of that fur, but ooh, a lot on the face actually. So if that fur, you know, that they claim does actually get the fish to hold on a little bit longer, that's great. But I don't think you're going to end up with that fur for too long. I think if we ended up with a pike, it's kind of an interesting material because it doesn't seem like the normal rubber underneath that fur. So it'd be interesting if we do get a pike if this thing is instantly destroyed. But that's why we started at the mini pond. See if we can't go 2 for 2 on this corner. Catch a few fish here and then end up going to another pond if it starts raining. But I do like the chartreuse because it's very, very easy to see. Similar to what a white frog probably would be, but when you're throwing in a bunch of lily pads and stuff like that, sometimes some of those other colors are a little bit more difficult to see, and this does a pretty good job. clearly the fish like it a little bit. Oh, got him. Right next to that bush. Little guy. That's more normal for the pond. These hooks turn crazy well though when a fish gets it. So okay. Good gracious. There we go. They turn real well. There we go. Number 2. We've had, what? Is that 4 or 5 bites? The one thing I have already realized is I wish there was another hole to go ahead and get that water out a little bit better. It seems like almost every cast, because it does collapse super, super well, which is great, obviously for hookup ratios, it is pretty quick to suck in water. So once you get a little bit of water in there, it obviously doesn't walk quite as well. We are absolutely tearing this fur off of this bait. If we end up with 10 or 15 fish, this frog might be white by the end of the day. But that is a good start. We're going to try and catch 1 or 2 more here at the little pond, and then we're going to go to one of the bigger ones to see if we can't catch some bigger fish, and there's a chance we lose it on a pike somewhere. But oh, missed him. Shoot. That's our first true miss. It didn't look very big, so. Look at all that water it sucked in though. With it being so tall, I don't know if it's a good thing. It's a good thing for swim baits. So what I'm noticing is not only does it walk side to side, is because it's so tall, sometimes it rolls. So once you pause it, you know, after walking a little bit, it'll do a little bit of a roll. So it's almost like a secondary action, similar to what you want in a swim bait. So I don't know if that's like, I don't know if I like it. The fish seem to like it. But yeah, a little bit different action than what you'll see in a normal frog. There's one. Good gracious. So I don't, in all honesty, I don't think this is too bad of a bait, just to throw something a little bit different than what these fish probably normally see for a frog. And every single time those hooks are out. I don't know what the longevity of this thing is going to be, but the hookup ratio seems absolutely phenomenal. And that it might expose super well. Holy cow. Because of the type of material it's made of. It doesn't seem to be the same type of plastic that other frogs are made of. I didn't read the box to see if it talked about it at all, but we are starting to tear this guy up though. That's for sure. There we go. Not a ton of fur on one of the sides. So if you're buying it for the color, just know that if you have a good day, it won't last too long. But same time, you caught a bunch of fish, so it's not a bad thing. Oh, it's twice. I have to imagine. Oh, I saw it go under. Thought he had it. I assume every time that it grabs a little bit of water, it gets a little bit more difficult for them to collapse it. All right, back to where we started. The bite died off pretty quickly, so hopefully that's not the case for the rest of the lakes that we're going to. But she's looking pretty decently destroyed, or at least a lot of that fur is gone. So we're gonna go to some other lakes, see if there aren't some bigger fish, see if we can't get lucky and catch a couple. Get him! Oh no, he's in the, oh, there we go. Not a big one. The splash he made, I thought it was a lot bigger. Tiny. Went to us. Oh my. Oh gosh. He inhaled it. And I don't know that I've ever seen that. That doesn't look good. I don't know if I've ever seen a frog do that. These hooks are crazy. We paused for a second like a normal frog, but holy cow. Did that absolutely come through him. We'll get you back, buddy. I'm sorry. That was crazy. These hooks are like absurd. The hookup ratio in them is phenomenal. I might have to pick up some more of these. And in all honesty, I don't know if it's still going on, but I did see them on Tackle Warehouse. I think they're selling them for cheap. Not cheap, but like on sale. I think they were like $5, and for a frog or a rat or anything else like that, that's not too bad. But like the hookup ratio is just, a tiny fish in that thick of cover, I would not have guessed that I would have hooked up with it that well. But we are not catching a ton of fish. It definitely died down at the last pond, and I assume that's probably the case for kind of everywhere. But we're hoping for a decent fish at least somewhere. Little guy. And again, those hooks, just holy cow. I don't know if I've ever seen frog hooks stick that well. It's absolutely crazy. And I don't use rats a ton, so maybe that's just something normal for rats, but that is absolutely ridiculous how well they stick. Nothing big yet though, unfortunately. We're kind of fishing in the middle of the day now, so that might be the last one of today because I don't think it's going to get a ton better, but we'll keep fishing for a little bit longer and see what happens. There. He missed it. No, he's got it. Oh! Get out. Nope. Oh, let's see if we can pull him around the stick. Yeah, nope. That's... maybe? I don't think we have a fish anymore. But we did get the lure back. Shoot. See what kind of damage we did to these. Oh, there's one that popped. Huh. I don't know why he's all malformed now. There we go. There. Well, that was a bite. Not a big one, decent one. Well, we did not get a 4-pounder today, so that means we will go back home and take a look at what we're going to throw in the box. All right, we are back home after using the Furenzy Mouse for a day. Obviously, we didn't catch any big fish on this, but I was pleasantly surprised with this bait. Lunkerhunt, typically not the biggest fan of, but this lure works insanely well. I don't know, again, I don't use rats very often, so I don't know what their action typically is like. I just imagine it's very similar to a frog, but the amount of, it's a little bit more difficult to walk back and forth than a normal frog, just a little bit, not much. But the additional rolling that you get from that bait after you walk it for a while is really nice. And I don't know that we had any fish necessarily bite on it, but it is like that secondary action that you kind of look for in like a swim bait or something like that. So in times where fishing might be a little bit more difficult, that might be an action that gets an extra couple bites. So that was great. The other thing that I noticed was just the hookup ratio was absurd. And the fish weren't incredibly aggressive, but they all got hooked so well. And I don't know if it's, again, because this mouse is a little bit taller, that maybe the angle of the hooks is a little bit different than a normal frog, but they got hooked like deep into the face and with multiple hooks, and it turned really, really well. I think we only missed one true fish. The last one that we had, that wasn't necessarily a miss. It was, we were in some thick lily pads and brush, and probably ripped those hooks out of that fish because we just couldn't get them out of that. But I don't know if it works because of that fur that they claim that's on there. I don't know if that holds them on just a little bit longer so that you get a better hookup ratio. I'm not really sure, but it today, for whatever reason, had some very, very good hook sets. So that was great. Goes to show those hooks are super, super sharp too. A lot of that fur did get rubbed off. So if the reason that you're wanting this is for the fur, a couple trips is probably all it's going to last. We have one side, which is kind of interesting also, but there's one side that is almost completely rubbed off and the other side is pretty well on there. So I don't know what that says necessarily about how the fish bite it or how we set hooks, but it's kind of interesting that it would be very much split down the middle, but that's interesting. But as far as our giveaway goes, again, if you're new here, we are doing a giveaway of a bunch of lures. Lures are expensive, so trying to help somebody out, get some lures, be able to fish a little bit more easily. I spend way too much on lures. I know firsthand it's rough out there, but every day that, or every video that we don't end up catching a 4-pounder, we will put another lure in the box, and then whenever we catch a 4-pounder or December 1st, whichever comes first, then we'll be giving away. So again, if there's anybody that you think might want the opportunity to potentially win some lures and whatnot, make sure that they follow along, like, comment, share, all that good stuff, so that whenever we do give that away, whether it be before December 1st or December 1st, they have the opportunity to go ahead and enter. And again, we'll be doing that on Instagram, so make sure to follow over there, so when it does get posted, you'll have the opportunity. But that being said, we've got a couple lures in there already. And again, I'm not giving away anything that I don't necessarily use or anything sort of like that. So we've got jackhammers, we've got right now spinnerbait, and swim baits for trailers. So if I had another one of these guys, I would probably put that in the box, but I don't. I only had one. Again, I think Tackle Warehouse has deals on those right now, so that might be something that I go out and buy some more of, because I think they're $5, and you can't find a $5 frog or rat pretty much anywhere. So decent deal in my opinion. But because we did use Topwater, we are going to go ahead and put a Topwater lure in the box. So we're going to use just the KVD Sexy Frog. I love that bait. Works really, really well. Super soft. Good hookup ratios with them. So we'll go ahead and drop that in there. Our box is getting quite full quite quickly. But hopefully whoever ends up getting this enjoys it. But as always, if you guys like the video, if you wouldn't mind liking, and if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Till next one.